You know, and we all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I'd like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to talk about the rights and the wrongs in the world of professional wrestling.
And it is for the WWE Championship.
This match is for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
The match and new NWA Heavyweight Champion of the world.
We appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to support women's wrestling in America.
This match is for the AWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Green, and you are listening to The Right and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. If you want to catch the MP3 version of this broadcast or this particular episode, be sure to go to Blog Talk Radio /The Wrestling Show. You can catch me on iTunes for another version of the MP3 if you need it there. And, of course, Women's Pro Wrestling Network on YouTube, all one word. You can find me in either one of those places. And you can find this young lady that I'm talking to right now. Current Resistance Pro Women's Champion, D'arcy Dixon. How are you, Dixon?
I'm doing great. I love being introduced as that.
Well, you should be introduced as that. You've held on to that title for quite some time now. I mean, how long have you been the champion?
Well, you know, it's not that long. I've had it since April. I'm planning on keeping it a lot longer, so...
Well, in today's wrestling environment, I mean, you gotta consider you're almost pushing into the new year. You're talking about you've had it since April of 2013. We're almost 2014 now. So you're basically what, about maybe 4 months shy of a year?
Yep, I am. I'm planning on making it to that year and beyond. So I'm not going to give it up easily.
I'm sure you're not going to give it up easily. I had the privilege to watch you participate in some pretty, how can I say, drastic matches. One in particular comes to mind against one Mickey Knuckles.
Oh, wait till you see the next one. I don't think I haven't seen it yet, so I don't think anybody else has had an opportunity to, but I think you're talking about the first title match I had against her, which was I'm pretty proud of, and it was a pretty intense match. But we just recently had a rematch, and if you like the first one, then I'm sure you're not going to be disappointed with the one that we just had.
Well, I want to make sure that I tell everybody that if you haven't had the opportunity to see Dixie work, and you haven't had the chance to see what she can do in a less than pleasant wrestling environment, because I believe this was hardcore. You certainly want to seek that out. It is under the Resistance Pro program, which you can, of course, find full episodes of that on YouTube. Just search out the name, and you should be able to find it. In fact, you should just be able to...
it's under Real Resistance Pro is the channel name. And I will let you know, I might not be exactly right on the timing, but you'll know when you see it. I think around 7 minutes, somewhere around 7 minutes, I get a concussion.
Ooh.
So you can see when that happens. And I think it's funny. I'll show everybody. I'm like, look, this is where I get my concussion.
And you remember that?
But I've seen it back on film.
Okay. But you're okay now.
I am okay now.
Okay. Well, let's cut to your background here. Why wrestling, Dixie? Why, of all the things you could be doing in life, you're a good-looking woman. You know, why get into such a brutal endeavor such as professional wrestling?
You know, I never have a good answer for that. I feel like people that are professional wrestlers, there's something in their DNA that if you were able to look at it under a microscope, it would be there. I don't know if there's a name. I'm assuming that it's not a name because it's something that I'm just making up. But there's not, I don't know the answer. It's just something that I'm passionate about. Something I used to watch on TV, and I'd have to say probably when I started to watch Trish Stratus, she's the first person I can really think of that was a female that I could watch and think, well, I could do what she's doing. And it started as that, I can do that. I think I can do that. Turns out it is a lot harder than I originally thought that it was, which is probably why I love it so much. And that's one thing, I think there are a lot of people out there that watch it and think I could do that, and more than likely you can. There's still a lot of things I can't do yet, and I'm still trying to learn how to. But I would have to say it was started as I think I can do that. And then I went to a local indie show. I did not know that those even existed until I met someone who was who worked a show that was close to me, became friends with that person, and was invited out to watch them work, and it blew my mind that I could actually get trained to wrestle and do a local show. That I didn't have to have a WWE contract to become a professional wrestler. Yeah. And as soon as I figured that out, it just became an obsession with me, and it still took a couple of years before I was able to work it out. And I had a weird intro into wrestling, and I don't know anybody else that started this way, but maybe they have. I actually got booked to work for Resistance before I had ever worked another show.
Really?
Before I ever trained. Before I had taken a bump or two, but that's it. And that was just like before a show. Like, hey, why don't you try to take a bump? That was it.
Okay.
I just really wanted to be involved in wrestling, and Resistance they kind of had this idea that they could find some people who were passionate about wrestling that had no experience, and they could bring them in. I think the original idea was to bring me in, actually I know the original idea was to bring me in as a valet and have me work as a valet, and that was just not where I wanted it to end, so I continued to train from there and became a wrestler.
Okay, so you are a direct descendant to Trish Stratus in the inspiration department, shall we say?
I would have to say in the inspiration department, but I definitely, I would never put myself in any sort of list with her because she's, incredible. I would have to say, I was very inspired by her. My favorite female wrestler of all time, I talk about her all the time, is Beth Phoenix. So, okay. I was inspired by Trish when I first, that was my first idea of thinking that I could wrestle. Beth Phoenix to me is what kind of wrestler that I would like to be. So they both are really important to me as far as inspiration goes.
Okay. Well, clearly you can see Beth has come a long way. I'm sure some of the people that are listening to this, much like myself, may remember her from well before she was actually Beth Phoenix, when she was the fabulous Firebird Phoenix, and she had to kind of work at her persona, I guess, if you want to call it that. And for those that I am in possession of a lost tape of Beth winning one of her earliest championships, the Glory Girl tournament. She the one that I'm not really sure that a lot of people are aware that there even was a Glory Girl tournament at this point.
Well, I did not know that, but I sure would like to see that.
Well, then ask and you shall receive. I will get you
all
a
right.
copy of the Glory Girl tournament. Now, bear in mind, I had nothing to do with the video production on this. It is an indie show from 2000, and that can get a little wonky in the video production. So just fair warning there before we.
I will not judge you.
Okay, don't judge me. Thank you. Career goals for Dixie. Let's flip Ms. D'arcy.
I described this in an interview I did earlier, and I think it's the best way that I can. I want to be the best wrestler that I can be and see what doors open up for me based on that. So I don't know, where my career is going. I don't know if I get a contract. I do think that there are some really exciting things happening with Resistance. Mm-hmm. And I would love, because I love everyone up there, we're all like family, I would love for that to happen. I would love for Resistance to grow and for my success to be a part of their success and vice versa. But, I don't know. I just want to I really am in love with the artistry and sport of wrestling. I watch, matches where I see people who are just so incredible, and I just want to be able to do that. And I know there are a lot of really great wrestlers out there that probably never got a contract, that most people don't know their names. I might even not know what their names are. But I want to be able to do what they do. So it's more about the abilities that I'm able to acquire more than, like, titles. And when I say titles, I don't mean, like, championship belts. I want as many of those as I can get. I mean more like people who say, you know, she works for this place or she works for that place, or don't get me wrong, I want that too. But for me, really in my heart, it's just to get. I know not everybody gets the opportunities that they deserve.
Yeah.
So for me, I just want to be prepared if that opportunity were to come by being the best wrestler I can be.
That is a fantastic answer. I don't think you could have answered that any better than what you just did. That's
I probably could have rambled a little less. I mean,
no,
maybe.
That's good. That's good. I mean, because you are correct, and I'm glad that you said that, because I do like to have the guests kind of iterate to those people that listen, and because every once in a while there are some people that are looking to get into the business, and it's good to hear that from people that's already in it, that don't judge your success or, you know, or lack of success or what have you based on whether you got that contract or not. You know, sometimes you just need to do it just to appease yourself. So at the end of this road that we call life, you can always say that, you know, I didn't sit back and wonder what if. I gave it a shot. I tried.
Well, I think it takes away, it makes the business a more fun place to be in, or a better place to be in, when you're more concerned with your matches, your ability, your skills, your journey. I think sometimes when you make it about, I want this contract, I want this contract, I want this contract, and you see someone else get the contract, and that's, you know, what you want, and you see someone else get it, it kind of fills your heart with like a little bit of jealousy, and, you know, it kind of makes it, you know,
yeah.
I feel like I don't know what my journey is. I really don't. I don't know. I just know that I love wrestling, and I want to do it. So I don't want to be disappointed at the end if there's one thing that I didn't achieve, because you never know what doors will open.
Very true.
And I also don't want to feel, you know, have hard feelings or anything against people who do get that big contract and get on TV. And I just want to support women who wrestle.
Okay. Sounds good. If you are listening to this broadcast, this MP3, Blog Talk, YouTube, iTunes, you are listening to Miss D'arcy Dixon, Resistance Pro Women's Champion, being interviewed by Mr. Green. Sorry about the mispronunciation earlier. I said Dixie. I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know why that came out of my mouth, and I apologize. I don't want you to beat me up or anything like that.
No.
So we have to squeeze this in before we get to your upcoming show date. Ideal opponent. I always like to ask about the dream match. If you could name me one current talent that you would like to get into the ring with and one past talent that you would like to get into the ring with, who would be the dream opponent for you?
Oh, gosh. You know, that is something. I know I'm going to say people, and then later I'm going to think about it and be like, no, I should have said this person. Well, you know, I have actually wrestled Amazing Kong.
Ah.
So she will probably be on the list, but I've had an opportunity to wrestle her.
Well, you have to disqualify Kong. You've actually had that match.
Yes, but I'm just saying.
She is a dream, though, and I'm sure that probably hurt.
Actually, yes. But, you know, and it hurt so good. It was a good hurt.
Okay.
I would have to say past talent. I guess I'd have to go with Beth Phoenix, because she is no longer currently, you know, she's not currently wrestling. So that's an easy one.
Okay.
You know, you never know. Cross your fingers. Maybe she'll come back.
And maybe you'll have that match.
Just to wrestle me. Maybe she'll come out of retirement.
Put it out there. Beth Phoenix has an open challenge.
Yeah, I'm sure she is going to hear about this. She is going to lace up her boots again.
Hey, all it takes is one person to say it. But go ahead.
People are going to spread the word to her. I know they're going to get on their Twitter right now, and she's going to be like, what?
That's right.
I'm going to have to take care of some business. Forget about, you know, my life. let's see, current talent. Are we talking about people on TV, or do we mean anybody?
Anybody. It doesn't have to be on TV, but, you know, divas, knockouts, WSU talent, Shimmer, you know, you name it, wherever, whether we heard of them or not.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go with, you know, this may be an obscure person, or maybe it won't be if you follow women's wrestling. I want to have a match with Barbie Hayden.
Ah, I have heard of Barbie Hayden.
She is in Texas, and I'm in North Carolina. And I wrestle in Chicago a lot. Of course, that's where Resistance shows are. So we never really travel in the same, you know, we haven't had an opportunity to get booked on the same show yet. And I feel like she, out of a lot of the other people that I've wrestled, well, I haven't wrestled her yet, but a lot of other girls on the indies, I've met her, and I love her. I think she's incredible. I think she's going to be a huge star, so I want to have a match with her before that happens. Well, we can both be big stars and have matches, you know, at WrestleMania.
That's right.
But I hope that in my career I get to say that I wrestled her, because I see a lot. She has a star quality. She's a good person. She's talented. We have a similar, I would have to say, like, kind of style in the ring. So I'd like to see what we could do with that. So, yeah, I'd have to go with her.
Well, I have to say that there is one similarity that I have noticed in the ring. I don't know if you do this all the time, but there has been these little spots that D'arcy tends to take. How can we say, where you show off your physique and strength?
Yes.
In the course of a match, a little bit of a head scissors, and then you break out to some push-ups.
Yes.
That's pretty. I'm looking for the right word here, D'arcy. I'm looking for the right one. You know, when I insult you any, almost narcissistic.
Awesome.
Okay,
amazing.
Awesome. We'll go with that. We'll go with amazing.
It's not bragging if you can back it up, right?
Okay, well that is true. That is true.
Can you do push-ups from one of the head scissors? Have you ever tried to do that?
I have not tried to do that, and that seems pretty difficult on the arms. You got yourself a nice elevated push-up going on there.
Imagine how it feels for the person in the head scissors. Not only are they being humiliated by the fact that I'm choking them, they have to watch me show off while I'm doing it. I'm just saying.
Indeed.
If you could do that as well, it's adding insult to injury, which I feel like, you know, you may as well. Right?
I guess. Now, you know, that's the other thing, because, you know, there are some times where I see, you know, D'arcy is a very wonderful person, or at least fan-oriented, and then there were at least 3 or 4 shows, because I did my research before I took this interview, where you have incited the crowd.
It depends on where I am. I like people in Georgia.
Okay.
In Georgia, I really like those people.
Okay.
People in South Carolina are not my favorite. South Carolina is the worst state ever. Have you been there?
Yeah.
There's absolutely, like, nothing good in South Carolina. There isn't. It's like a road. And their roads are even terrible. It's like the one thing you have are roads. That's all that you can look at is a road. And you can't even take care of those. So, I mean, like, Georgia is a great place. So when I'm in Georgia, which is probably some of the shows that you've seen where I interact with the fans, is because I like those fans better.
Yes.
But when those people are great, I will high-five them. I will interact with their children and take pictures and whatnot. But in South Carolina, I'm just not really into that. I feel like I'm a lot better than those people, and they need to know it.
Okay.
Also, it kind of depends on who I'm wrestling as well. Because I wrestle Pandora a lot in Georgia.
Yes, you have.
And you know, nobody likes her. It's like, I feel so sorry for the people there that have to watch her wrestle on a consistent basis that I almost, like, overdo being nice to make up for the fact that generally they don't get to see, like, actual good talent.
Wow. Okay. And for those fans out in Georgia, I'm pretty sure that you love those comments. And to those out in South Carolina, for the benefit of the show,
well, honestly, I doubt the people in South Carolina have the technology available to listen to this interview.
Oh.
So we're okay.
Okay. All right.
We're okay.
Just in case I will apologize just for the benefit of the program. And I will take that as a segue into your upcoming match. You mentioned your next opponent, which will take place this Saturday, the December the 14th, and not just in a regular match. First off, you're not even undercard. You're the main event on this particular show, which is a big thumbs up, because not often do you see the women take the show as the main event. But you're also taking a pretty big, extremely dangerous matchup in a dog collar match.
Dangerous for Pandora.
Okay.
Here's the thing. We were going to, I believe it was going to be a cage match.
Yes.
Which I agreed to because Pandora cheats. I don't think that I'm saying anything out of the way or like, this isn't a revelation for anyone. Pandora I would like to see a match where she just wrestles and does not cheat.
Okay.
But she cheats, whether she needs to or not. She is going to cheat, and she's going to do something dirty. She has her little henchman or henchwoman, Nina Monet.
Yes.
And it's just, the thing is, without her abilities to cheat, she stands no chance against me. So the last time we wrestled, of course, there was the grabbing of the tights, and it was a tag match. My tag partner was Amanda Rodriguez. Yeah. And they just incorporated a lot of dirty techniques in order to get the victory over us. So the promoter at the show decided to do a cage match so that no one could get in, no one could get out. It's just me and her, my talent against her talent, or lack thereof.
Okay. So
I agreed to that. That sounds perfect. That's taking away a lot of her advantage, which is the fact that I want to straight up wrestle without being a dirty person, and she doesn't. So the cage would keep that in play. Well, it turns out the cage match, because of the venue, just wouldn't work out. Mm-hmm. So Pandora came up with a great idea. I believe it was her idea. She wanted to have a dog collar match with me, and I felt like she feels like she has the advantage in that scenario. But unfortunately for her, she's going to find out that being chained to me is not exactly going to be a good thing for her. She's going to be within, I believe is it a 15-foot chain?
It is 15 feet of chain as advertised. I was responsible for that little flyer, so yes.
Yes. So, she's definitely not going to be able to get away. And that's exactly what I want. We may not have 4 walls holding us in, but she's going to find out. And you've seen in some matches I've had against some very worthy opponents, I don't give up. And she's not going to be able to get away from me. So I feel like she thinks that she has the advantage. But unfortunately for her, she definitely does not.
Clearly, yes, I have seen those, and I will reiterate that you have been in some quite drastic, dangerous matches prior to this. I was not there to see or bear witness to the tag team match. I did report it. That unfortunately the bid for the tag team championships with you and your partner for that evening, Amanda Rodriguez, did not go through. But the rematch, so for anybody that is unable to see that, it should be available. I will be in attendance. I will have video equipment at the ready. So if you cannot go and purchase a ticket to see the show live, which you should do if you are in the vicinity, you should go in. But if not, we will have cameras awaiting to see how this match turns out.
Yeah, I think, I've been respectful, and I've been a good sport, and I've tried to, hold my standards high in wrestling with her, but the last match that we had, it was just kind of the end of it. It's like, no more Mrs. Nice D'arcy. I'm tired of it. And so what better way to just really show her that I'm not putting up with the crap that she pulls anymore than in this match.
Well, if you have any direct message to Pandora herself because I'm sure that this will get around to her. If there's any direct message that you have, would you like to express that right now? What can she expect from you this Saturday in this dog collar match?
I really, as far as messages to Pandora, I don't really like to waste my time even talking to her because my message is going to be sent in the ring. But I will let her know that she can bring all her little dirty tricks, that she can plan all her little plans out that she wants to, but unfortunately for her, she's going to be going home that night a loser. She goes home every night a loser, but she's going to be going home from this match a loser of the match as well.
Wow. Okay. Well, so you are pretty well determined that you're going to win this match come hell or high water, apparently.
Exactly. Best way to say it.
All right. Well, again, for those that are listening to this, you have been listening to D'arcy Dixon, Resistance Pro Women's Champion, who this Saturday, I do not believe there are any titles on the line. Are you going for a championship? This is just strictly grudge here, correct?
I think this is just because we really don't like each other and want to wrestle. It doesn't matter. There doesn't have to be a belt on the line. This is more about, proving who's the best.
Okay. Well, then this Saturday we'll find out who is the best, D'arcy Dixon or Calm Like a Bomb Pandora. You can catch that match if you are in the vicinity of Georgia. If not, then you will want to come back to this YouTube channel and see if you can find a video and you can witness all the bloody horror that they may inflict on each other this weekend. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I have a sinking feeling that it may. If you want,
well, I have a very exciting feeling that it probably will.
Well, I don't want y'all to damage each other too badly. I mean, I would have liked it to remain somewhat civil, but I'm not the booker here, so I can only pray. I will.
It's past that.
It's past that. It sounds.
This ain't our first match. This is not our first match. It's past. Yeah, it's past that.
It sounds like it's gotten pretty personal. If you want to support D'arcy, make sure that you catch her on Facebook.com/D'arcy.Dixon.5. If you want to shoot her on Facebook or try to befriend her or something like that. Would you also like to toss out your Twitter so people can?
Yeah, I would love to. My Twitter is actually D_RC Dixon. So it's D'arcy Dixon, but just a little underscore in between after that first D.
All right, so there you have it. D'arcy Dixon, D_RC Dixon at Twitter, and Facebook.com/D'arcy.Dixon.5, and you will be able to find her on either one of those social media sites. And if you're lucky, you will be able to see her in action in the upcoming weeks, either live in this dog collar match, which is history-making, I must say, because very few people attempt it, or you will be able to see it via the video. And there we have it. We are good. And I want to thank you for your time to come out here to do the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
And I hope that I will be able to catch you either one way or the other this Saturday, either in front of the camera or in person.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right. You have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.